Assalamualaikum. Today we want to present about gross domestic product. Before we start our explanation, I would like to thanks to Puan Farhana and all my friends who helped to make assignment successful. Firstly, I will go through about introduction. In this slide is about definition of statistic and objective of study. We can identify clearly about the objective of the assignment during search the data. We also need to find secondary resources, which is the data from the other sources like internet, book, and others. Statistics are used to collect, organize, summarize, and make conclusion or interpret data scientifically.
Data arrangement. From the data given, we need to calculate the number of classes. Class width, we have to identify minimum and maximum entries and the sample size. So the number of classes is equal to 5. Class width is equal to 14. Minimum entry is 234.5. Maximum entry is 306.6. And the sample size is 30. The next one is we need to arrange the classes. The first classes is 234.5 until 248.5. The second classes is 249.5 until 263.5. And we need to arrange until the fifth number of classes. We move on to the frequency. Frequency for the first classes is 9. Second classes is 10. Third classes is 3, fourth classes is 3, fifth classes is 5. The total number of frequency is 30. Now we move on to the relative frequency. To calculate the relative frequency is you need to divide the frequency with the sample size. For example, 9 divided by 30 equal to 0.3. The second classes is 0.33. The third classes is 0.1. Fourth classes is 0.1. And the last classes is 0.17. The total number of the relative frequency is need to be equal 1. The last step is cumulative frequency. To calculate the cumulative frequency, the first classes of the frequency need to be added with the next classes of frequency. For example, 9, the first classes is 9, and 9 plus 10 equal to 19. 19 plus 3 equal to 22. 22 plus 3 equal to 25. 25 plus 5 equal to 30.
The graphical method histogram. For the histogram, we can see based on the diagram below, the highest one is the blue midpoint of RM 10,000 and the lowest is the orange and red midpoint of RM 3,000. Next, OGIF. For graph OGIF, we can see based on the diagram below also the highest is the upper boundaries at frequency RM 30,000 while the lowest is marked at frequency RM 9,000.
Today I'm going to explain a little bit more about measure of central tendency. Okay, before we start to find the mean, median and mode, we have to create a data. So as you can see, class and frequency has always been given by the question. So we can get the answer frequency from the question. Okay, so we have to just find the midpoint, fx, and cumulative frequency. To find x, the midpoint, is to add the minimum number of the class row with maximum number of the class row, and then we divide by 2. For example, the first class row is 200. The minimum number for the first class row is 234.5, and then we plus with the maximum number of the first class row, which is 248.5, and then we divide by 2, and the answer is 241.5. That is the answer for the first class for the midpoint. Okay, the next is fx. Fx is easy. F we get it from the frequency. X is from the midpoint. So we multiply it together. So, for example, the first class row, 9, which is the frequency, and then we multiply with x, 241.5, and equals to 2173.5. That is the answer for fx. So, to get cumulative frequency, first we have to put the first row of the frequency, which is 9, and then for the second row of cumulative frequency, we take the first row of the frequency, which is 9, and add with the second row of frequency, which is 10, equals to 19, and 19 is the second answer for the second row for the cumulative frequency. As you can see, the next table is we get it from the cumulative frequency to get the median class. Okay, now we can start to find a mean, median, and mode. Okay, to find mean and median and mode, the formula for mean is x bar equals to sum of fx divide with n. So after we get the number from the data, it's going to be x bar equals to 5611.5 divided by 30 equals to 264. The formula for median is Lm plus brackets n divided by 2 minus sum of fx minus 1, negative 1, divided by fm brackets minus multiply c. Sorry. Okay, so after we put the number, it's going to be 249 plus brackets 30 divided by 2 minus 9 divide by 10 brackets times 15 equal to 258. The formula for mode is Lm plus brackets delta 1 divide by delta 1 plus delta 2 brackets times c. After we put the number, it's going to be 249 plus 1 divide 1 plus 7 brackets times 15 equals to 259. Okay, thank you, that's all.
Next, the measure of variation. We have to calculate sample variance and sample standard deviation. So, as you can see, the table, to get total fx square, we must f multiply x square. Example, 9 multiply 58322.25 equal 2173.5. After that, plus all the answers, so we can get total fx square. Okay, for total fx, frequency f multiply midpoint x. 9, for example, 9 multiply 241.5 equal 2173.5. Same, we total all and we get the answer total fx equal 2104717.50. And after finish the table, we can calculate standard deviation. We can calculate sample variance. To calculate sample variance, so the answer for the sample variance 477.1552. Next, sample standard deviation. Square root sample variance means square root 477.1552 equal to 1.8439. So therefore, the sample variance is about 477.1552 and the sample standard deviation is about 21.8439.
Okay, for the next slide, the table of the measuring position. They have 5 table for class, the number of class, frequency, midpoints, lower boundaries, upper boundaries. Okay, for the first class, for the first numbers of class, 234.5 until 248.5. The frequency is 9. The midpoint to 241.5. Lowest boundary 234. Upper boundaries 249. For the second numbers of class, 249.5 until 293.5. The frequency is 10. Midpoints 256.5. Lowest boundary 249. Upper boundaries 264. For the class interval for number of class, for the third one, 294.5 until 278.5. The frequency is 3. The midpoint 271.5. Lowest boundaries 264. For the upper boundaries 279. For the number of class for the fourth one is 279.5 until 293.5. The frequency is 3. Midpoint is 286.5. Lowest boundaries 279. Upper boundaries 294. For the last of number of class is 294.5 until 308.5. The frequency is 5. Midpoints 301.5. Lowest boundaries 294. And for the upper boundaries is 309. Okay, for the total of frequency is 30. Okay, for the next slide is the calculation for measuring positions. There's first quarter, third quarter, and interquarter range. Okay, for the first quarter, we use the formula n minus n divided by 4. And the calculation is 30 divided by 4. And the answer is 7.5. For the total and for the calculation to know what is numbers of first quarter is LQ1 plus bracket n divided by 4 minus f divided by FQ1 multiplied by C. Okay. For the total is 234 plus bracket 30 divided by 4 minus 0 divided by 9 multiply by 5. Multiply by 15. Okay. We have to calculate the numbers in the bracket first, and the answer is 234 plus 0.75 multiplied by 50, and the total answer is 245.33. 25 to 5. Okay, for the third quarters, we use the formula 3 bracket ends divide by 4, and the answer is 3 bracket 30 divide by 4, and the answer is 22.5. Okay, for the formula to get third quarter is LQ3 plus bracket 3n divide by 4 minus F divide by FQ3 multiply C. Okay, 200 for this calculation is 264 plus bracket 3 bracket 30 divide by 4 minus 90 divide by 3 multiply by 50. Okay, we have to calculate the bracket first, the number in the bracket first, and we get the answer in the bracket is 16.17 divide minus multiply 15. Okay, 264 minus 264 plus 16.17 multiply 15, the answer is 506.55. Okay, for the interquartile range, the formula is third quarter minus first quarter. So the answer for third quarter is 506.55, and the first quarter is 245.25. To get the interquartile range, we have to minus third quarter minus first quarter. So 506.55 minus 245.25, and we can get the answer 291.30. Okay, for the measuring position, we can get the interquartile range is 261.30.
Okay, for the conclusion, we can conclude that the reason represented through graphical method, which is histogram and ogive. We also measure the central tendency. It is found the mean, mode, and the median. Besides, we analyze the sample variance and standard deviations. For measuring position, we find out the first quarters, second quarters, and third quarters. So that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum.